Internet at hand. It is convenient in terms of getting information. When I need to know something, I Google it and I form my opinion. Through a search engine, I receive what seems to be reliable information. It's quick, convenient, and seemingly makes me a well-informed person. However, there is one catch. More often than not, I haven't learned, but merely Googled. Let me explain. Each of us is a carrier of a vast package of opinions in our minds, born from the small, lazy act of I Googled it. I'm not saying that the internet is a bad thing. I'm talking about something entirely different. The fact that we usually don't know the truth because we just Googled and consumed the information dish prepared for us, someone else's opinion. We're consuming someone else's opinion. It gets digested and becomes ours. Yet for some reason, nobody contemplates this. In one country, we're fed one thing, in another something else, and in a third something different. And that would be fine. Except that as a result of such a diet, the residents of different countries believe they know better than others. And that would be fine, I repeat, with such a diet, except that in the end, they do not just know the truth, but argue with each other, defending positions based on falsehood. Isn't that absurd? Here's another example. Since early childhood, as I explored this world, I came to understand that our Earth is round, and there's a wealth of evidence supporting this. But once upon a time, my friend found out on Google that the Earth is flat. He came to me and began to argue this as if he had traveled to the moon and personally seen everything with his own eyes. A small argument arose. He didn't appreciate that I didn't support his flat earth theory, and our relationship turned somewhat chilly for a while. Why? Delving deep into it might not be well received. Let's try a simpler explanation. There is information that divides, and there is information that unites. There is information that sows disputes, discord, and divisions, and there is information that fosters kindness, love, and creativity. What we consume every minute of the day essentially shapes who we become. Our future depends on the information we receive, whether it will be bright or dark. Nowadays, we constantly Google and hardly subject what we've Googled to critical assessment. We form fleeting and shallow opinions about the world around us and the events happening within it. In our haste, we race along the surface like those Google-eyed creatures with noodles hanging from their ears. I could write and publish 10 convincing articles on the internet claiming that the Earth is square, and believe me, there will be those who read them and vehemently argue in support, generating new divisive narratives, creating new fragmentation, all stemming from my initial endeavor. And this applies to everything we may deal with. What am I getting at? That in reality, almost all of us are informed, yet deceived, fools. We know nothing, not the true history, not the genuine science, not medicine, not how this world is constructed, not the purpose of life, not who or what God is. We don't even know what electricity truly is. We only know what we've been allowed to know. Or more precisely, we only know what we've been fed with information since our early childhood. In a consumer society, we are consumers of others' opinions, devourers of others' lies. We do not ask ourselves, whose website is this? Why is it at the top? Who wrote the article or news? What purpose does the information product serve? Who ordered it? Ultimately, why did it catch our eye? We thoughtlessly absorb information, much like pigs consuming anything indiscriminately, and then wonder why our lives are in disarray. And, most amusingly, We do this while pretending to be competent. Sadly, all too often, we're even willing to die for someone else's opinion that's been thrust upon our minds. The Internet, or the World Wide Web, today more closely resembles the spider's web, in which we get entangled, caught in the threads of others' notions, and snared in the tangles of others' contradictions. We don't think about who owns the search engine. We don't think about its regularly updated search algorithm. Upon closer examination, a programmed algorithm is more focused on promoting stupidity, fragmentation, confusion, and imposing false priorities and values on us, activating the beastly nature in us. I am talking about the system as a whole, and this system not only divides us, but it also actively pits us against each other. How? Let's take a simple example. Here we are, my brother, sitting on different continents, and through the internet, media, television, and radio, they tell you that I'm bad, while through the same channels, television, internet, media, and radio, they tell me that you're bad. This possible because you and I both know for sure that we are good, decent people, wishing for peace and goodness. How does this make sense? It's not absurd. I don't know what to call it. Lies. Lies rule the world in a consumer society. There is total deception and manipulation of public consciousness. Naturally, we are unhappy. And it can't be otherwise, because sooner or later, we realize that again and again, repeatedly, we are deceived and deceived. Where's the truth? I won't answer that question. I'm only leading to the point that we all are information conductors, and it is only two vectors, uniting and dividing, breaking. That's it. So, what is the phenomenon of the creative society? Many don't understand how in just a few years, the creative society has become the most well-known brand in the world throughout history. Where do the resources come from? Inspiration? Where do the people, volunteers, put in so much effort, come from? What are conferences worth? And all of it on a voluntary basis. How? Just like this. This is the effect of genuine unifying information. It doesn't divide, it unites. It inspires creative action. It enlightens. IT equips individuals with the tools to easily discern truth from falsehood. Seeing where truth lies and where lies reside, one starts taking action not for medals or accolades, but to try and mend the mess. The first thing he does is begin to explore what the creative society is and how real it is. He visits YouTube, watches interviews, reads comments, and watches videos with Igor Mikhailovich Danilov. He visits the website and watches a multitude of interviews. He gets acquainted with people, communicates, learns, creates, and sees a miracle. Millions and millions of people, amazing people from all corners of the world, understand each other with half a word. They don't wait for commands or rewards. They take action not to gain fame or acquire something, but to attempt to heal a terminally ill society, because, apart from them, no one else will do it. No government, no organization, no system. After all, we can see it, and he continues to witness the miracle. Step by step, frame by frame, word by word, like those droplets merging into streams. like those streams merging into rivers, like those rivers flowing into the sea. Indeed, an astonishing phenomenon. You know, screw all the experiments and opinions of scientists, skeptics, psychologists, critics, grumpy grumblers, and lazy couch farts who argue that it is impossible, that the struggle for survival drives development and progress. That can only be one way: elites, power, money, and slavery, buy and sell. You scratch my back, I scratch yours, profit and gain. But we see that it's not like that. We know we can do things differently. Yes, today, the internet may spread more lies, divide, and separate, but everything is in our hands. How will it be in the creative society? Well, for sure, we will come up with something. We will create something truly useful to help, inspire, enlighten, and, most importantly, truthfully represent information. Media should belong to the people, the fourth pillar of the creative society. We will create our own creative search engine with constructive algorithms. We will implement fashion for love, kindness, and positivity. We will revive the good news. But how? It's going to display information there in a biased way. Listen, is it being displayed objectively today? When you search for latest news, you're forced to read in detail about how a heavily intoxicated man brutally hacked his wife with an axe. Is there no other news? You're compelled to see a set of words in the newsfeed somewhat like this. And these words are not taken out of thin air. Real studies were once conducted on this topic, where negative words were extracted from headlines of news portals. I'll ask you again, is there no other news? Is this what you believe to be objectivity? Aren't you tired of filling your tanks with crap? Let's create something different. Seriously. Let's build a system where they will tell me only good things about you, my beloved brother, who lives on another continent. And they will tell you only good things about me. You and I are really good people, so why not talk about it? It's much more pleasant to talk about the positive things. When we go online, we want to be delighted, inspired, supported, uplifted, and lift our spirits to boost our mood. Come out and go share it with others. And Google and Yandex and others like them will quietly puff away on the sidelines, because people will gravitate towards truth and goodness. After all, who among us doesn't desire truth and goodness?